it's so great to have you here, right here in Frisco, Texas, at Grover's.
Thanks, Paul.
Now we're about to get into an acoustic show. You're doing a nice acoustic run right now.
Right.
And I know that you have hours and hours of music to choose from. And in fact, Don was just telling me that you have been known to do hours and hours long sets.
Yeah,
So,
if I get on a roll, I don't stop. I get into a zone and then just keep going. And I do know a lot of stuff. The great part about the show is that I get to play, the stuff that I love. That I grew up with, Beatles and Led Zeppelin. And then I get to do the, all the Zebra stuff also. I mingle it in between. So, and if people yell out stuff during the show, I can, if I know it or part of it, a lot of times I'll play.
yeah. Well, that's an amazing skill for people to be able to yell out, almost any song in your grand catalog and just to bring it right up. But when did you realize when you were younger that you could do that? Because you actually started out playing a lot of those songs.
Yeah. I didn't actually start singing until Zebra. I sang a little bit, but didn't start until Zebra. So it had to be, I guess after the first year when we started having a little bit of success, I knew at least I could do that part of it. As far as the acoustic thing, I've been doing that now about 15 years. When I picked up the guitar, just started, figuring out new arrangements for some of the songs to make them sound fuller. It's worked out well for me.
And every once in a while, I know doing a show absolutely on your own with no help is so you're out there on your own. You're on an island.
Yeah,
do you prefer that, or do you prefer the band setting?
Both of them have their advantages. It's always great to play with a band, but this is definitely relaxing. And if I, it makes it a lot easier to go from one song to another or change the set list, on the fly when you're just by yourself. So, and it's kind of, I would say, what's the word I'm looking for? Therapeutic for me, doing the solo acoustic thing. So.
Now, do you know which songs that you're going to go through in a night, or do you kind of get to the venue and kind of feel out the vibe a little bit too?
Definitely feel it out, if people seem to be responding more to one genre of music than another, I'll let them dictate how it's going to go, And since I have such a wide variety of songs to play, it's, that's the way it should be. I don't want to fight the crowd.
Yeah, absolutely. So, which of the Zebra classics are we going to hear tonight?
I probably Tell Me What You Want. Who's Behind the Door will be in there. Usually do Take Your Fingers From My Hair. And, some stuff from Zebra 4. I usually do Why in the acoustic show, which is like the last song on the fourth Zebra record, and Time from the third Zebra.
Now, does anyone ever stump you? They yell out something, and maybe even from your own catalog that you go, oh, wow.
Well, I remember, what was it? Last time I was in Dallas, I think somebody called, because I had played it once before. I played Stevie Ray Vaughan, was it Love on the Rocks, or what? Love on the Rocks. Love by the Drop.
Okay, yeah.
I think that's right. Yeah, and that stumped me because I'd been so long since I played it, and I started. And I said, I don't know the words to this right now. So I got stumped by a Texas goodie.
Yeah. And now Zebra is still very much active, though.
Yeah.
Even though you're doing this acoustic.
Yeah, Zebra's playing a lot. We're going to be doing a run into Florida in September. We haven't been to Florida in a while. Doing some shows, of course, up in New York and down in Louisiana. This year we're going to be doing another record. Well, next year. It'll be the 5th Zebra studio record. And it's probably going to be on Cleopatra Records. We're negotiating right now. The ink isn't dry. I don't mind saying it at this point. So we're looking forward to it.
Good. Well, what can you tell us about those songs that you're writing now? Or would you say it's in the same vein, going in the same direction as 4, or do you have something totally new you're doing?
So I'm sure we'll do some things that are totally new, and then I think lyrically it's going to be a little more, not as vague. I wrote a lot of vague lyrics along the way, but I think I'm going to be a little more definitive about what I'm trying to say this time. And I want it to be interesting, think a lot of times bands get bogged down and they just write and they just put stuff out that's not that interesting. We haven't done a whole lot of records, you know. I mean, I know bands that have done like 20 records in the time that we've done these 4, but at least I can look back at them and say, you know, I like the quality of what we did. You know?
Well, yeah, it definitely should be quality over quantity. But that being said, why have you had such big gaps in between?
Yeah, I think that's probably the reason. Well, some of it is we've all got different lives, you know, and the Zebra, even though we kept the Zebra thing going, you know, we've all got different projects that we're involved with and families and stuff. But when the time is right, you know, to make another record, then we're, you know, putting the materials together. That's usually when it happens. In this case, it took 10 years. But hey, you know, it is what it is. You know?
That's true, but that's admirable, though, to be able to only make records when you're really feeling it, when it's really, and that's got to be one of the greatest things about being, you know, independent right now, just calling your own shots.
Sure.
Because I'm sure, you know, being through Atlantic Records and through the business, there are probably several things that weren't really your call.
Right. Well, you had to, you know, come up with another record within months, you know. And, you know, pressure's on to get the work done. So this is a little more relaxing, and you know, and you get like we were saying, quality comes from it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and also on this tour, I know that you get being that it's just you and you don't have to manage a whole bunch of people and that kind of thing. Do you get to explore this? Like, will you get to hang out in Dallas? And if so, what do you get to do while you're here?
Well, I mean, I've got a lot of friends that I've made over the years, you know, and we'll probably go out after the show for a little while and maybe get a bite to eat or something like that and catch up because it's been a while since I've been here. But I have to fly out tomorrow morning, go to Houston. I have two shows, Saturday and Sunday in Houston, and then I'm right off to New Orleans. So there's not that much time. You know, when I'm here, I'm stay with some friends from here in Dallas, and you know, it's great. You know, over the years, I've developed relationships with different people, and they want me to come. So I'm good with that, you know.
Absolutely.
Home's better than a hotel, you know.
Yeah, that's true. Life of a traveling salesman, too. No, that's great. Well, the show is the Drew Pearson Show. And Drew famously taught the Hail Mary pass. And we ask everybody their Hail Mary moment in their life where they had to go for something and it just worked out for them. What do you suppose that was?
That's a great question. You know what, I'm going to have to say trying to get Jack Douglas to produce our first record. That was kind of a Hail Mary. We were trying to think of different producers, and you know, it was like a long shot. I didn't know, you know, because we weren't really high on the radar at that point. We'd never done a record before, and so I said, let's go for it. Let's the worst you can do is say no. And so we sent him the demo tapes and just said yeah. So I guess that you could call that the Hail Mary moment for Zebra.
Yeah.
And it worked out well. So.
That's great. Well, what do you think is one of your fondest Zebra memories? If someone were to ask you, just, I know there's many throughout the years, but is there something that really sticks out as the defining moment for you?
I mean, there's a lot of great moments, you know, and some of them mean more to the band personally than they would to the audience, you know. But I think, you know, just overall, I remember we did a show with Journey back in New Orleans, and the guy who was helping to run the Louisiana Music Foundation presented us with the keys to the city that day.
Yeah.
So, you know, that was something you saw in the movies when you were a kid, you know, he had the key and everything, and I said, you know, this is cool.
Well, now most importantly, where is this key now?
God only knows. It's behind the door somewhere.
Yeah, I always wondered that. Did the keys get hung in the bathroom somewhere, in the office, in the rehearsal studio?
I don't know. I don't know where they go, and I don't know where that one went. I think Felix might have the key. He might have stuffed it in his guitar case and taken it home, and I told him that he might.
Well, this has got to be such an exciting time for you to make these runs and just have everyone know these songs, yours and not yours, but, you know, to also be at a point where you're in the Hall of Fame for Louisiana and Ireland. It's got to be nice for people to, after all these years, just to respect and love the music and still love it.
Well, you know, I feel blessed and fortunate that the music's held up this long. And it's a lot of fun doing these shows. It's always an intimate crowd, and people. I get to mingle with people. Crowds aren't so big that I can't talk to everybody. So it's cool.
And you still enjoy meeting the fans?
Yeah. I've always been good with that. I mean, people are people, and wherever we go, as long as they're not looking to. As long as they like the music, I'm okay.
As long as they're not heckling.
It's a good conversation starter.
And I've also wondered about that very thing, about how do you deal with someone, maybe a heckler or someone that's, because when you're up there alone, you're up there by yourself, you're naked, and
everyone's different, and I don't get heckled a whole lot. Sometimes somebody gets drunk, and maybe they're. I've had situations where people wanted to sing along with the songs, which is great, but not at 136 decibels. They're trying to win the award for the loudest, and that happens. Yeah, and it will be, and that'll happen. And sometimes I'll just. I try. First thing I'll always do is I'll try to send a message to them discreetly. Maybe through somebody else, to ask them to quiet down or whatever. And then if they just, refuse, then I'll just, we'll have it out right now. If it's too disturbing, and but not in a nasty way. I always try to make it funny and make light of it, because look, everybody's there to have a good time. Nobody wants to see, blood and guts, unless they're the wrestling match.
Or if you're in New Jersey.
Yeah, of course. Changed my gig for that. Yeah.
Well, one of the last things I want to ask you is, I know that there's a lot of guitar players that come and see you, and they're just staring at the fretboard the whole time, and they look up to you. What's your advice that you give?
I'd say, expand your horizons, learn as many different genres as you can. You can pick up so much from learning from places that you would have never thought of. Like death metal guy should be listening to jazz, and, because music is, it's about borrowing and incorporating what you learn into your technique. That's where new music comes from. So that's my advice.
Absolutely. Well, we're so happy to have you here. Very last thing, we got to know: are you a sports fan? And if so, who's your team?
I got to say, it's the Saints.
Yeah.
I'm from New Orleans,
Well, good. Yeah. Except you never know which way it's going to go. I know our great producer Tom Stokes is a New Orleans guy as well, so we might have a separate conversation with you about that. Of course, we're the Cowboys fans.
Absolutely.
We love the Cowboys, and we definitely thank you for being on and sharing your Hail Mary moment with us.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Paul.
See you soon.